Hi, I'm a little early. I wanted to make sure my camera was set up properly so that you could see what I've got. And while I'm a little early, I wanted to go over some new items. So, what we have here are some new sets that I just got. And this one is called The Right Words. And I'm trying to get it so the glare isn't so bad. But um, I got this sentiment set because I liked a number of the ones that they had. Like, for instance, I really don't like that you're leaving, but I hope that you go where you love where you're going. Hit the mark for me because I've recently had people moving away and I was sad to see them go. Um, it has some of the regular, like happy birthday and things like that, but it had some special sayings that I think kind of hit the spots that have been missed with other sentiments. Anyway, I'll be using this in some of my stamping today. And then this is it's called holographic resin dots. And gosh, well, let's see. It's really hard to tell. I can see it. It looks just clear in the camera, but um, there's colors of pinks and light green and things like that in it, and it's pretty impactful. Um, there you can see a little bit of the color. Anyway, it's kind of a fun new embellishment that we can get. Now this is a set I had to wait until the new catalog went live. Here's the new annual catalog. And if any of you are in need of a catalog, let me know. I do have them in stock. And inside the catalog, you have a whole bunch of items that are available, new items and things. I've been marking this up for my need, but the front section deals with kits, and then they get into the stamp sets. And actually, I didn't show this paper, but this is a set I was just getting ready to show you. This is called Kintsugi Inspirations. Anyway, um, this is what I've got here, and it's an art of that they use in I guess China and Japan, where they repair broken bowls and things and use gold in the process so that their imperfections still become a thing of beauty. Anyway, this is the stamp set, and then this is the dies that go with it. I'm going to be playing with these. And then there's an embossing folder that goes with it as well. And I'm going to show you the paper. The paper, this is two-sided. It's got the gold foiling on it. And then the other side has a subtle pattern. Let's see if I can get that so you can see. Anyway, there's, of course, the gold and then the more muted tones. Makes for great backgrounds. This one, again, the gold. And here's a very light pink, very soft. I get the impression of a floral type pattern. And this one, I see me die cutting a lot of these out, these beautiful bowls and vases. And at the other side, again, a soft, subtle pattern. And here's another one, which has another beautiful, soft pattern in the back. And this is the darker version, depending on what you're trying to create. And then a very soft pink. Again, my impression floral. a floral pattern. Anyway, that's the new set that I had to wait to get. And now I'm going to be able to play with it. And we'll see what I come up with. So I think we're about ready to start the regular class session. I just wanted to show a few of my new items and kind of give you an idea of what was to come. Now, for today's class, we've got 4 really fun cards. And I wanted to put these out so you could see what direction we're headed. Well, I'll do each one as I come to it. That would be less confusing. We're going to be starting on the Pop and Wiggle. Now, this is from the birthday celebrations. It's called the Wildflower Birthday, I think is what it's called. I'll have to look. Wildflower Birthday, that's right. Okay. Anyway, the paper in this packet is got, again, the gold foiling on it, plus it has the these are die cuts. They has 2 sheets of these die cuts that you can just punch out. Basically, it really speeds up the process for making cards. Gives you lots of options, and I think the colors are very cheerful, and I'm happy to share this. Now, before I get too far into this, I wanted to let you know this month, till the end of May, they have a starter kit special where you, for the starter kit fee of $99, you get $165 worth of product. Usually that's $125. So they've really upped it, $40 of free product. It's the okay. When I joined Stampin' Up, what happened was I saw a video not far from this one where she was showing how to make a card. And in the video, I saw tools that she was using. And having stamped before, I knew what an improvement, how many improvements have been made since the time when I did the stamping. And I went to her class, and at the class, I learned about more tools. For instance, the die cut embossing machine. And I knew that I wanted to get these items, but my price was going up because of the number of things I was wanting to get. And so I decided, well, I wanted a discount. Well, oh. Hi, Evelyn.
Hi, I'm here, and I'm not sure. Are you on already?
Yes, I am. I'm live.
Okay. I'm looking at live right there.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
All right.
All right. I was looking all over. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye. Okay, we are all learning. I'm fairly new at this, and my students are new at this too, so we're learning together. Anyway, I just wanted to mention the starter kit special. For $99, you can get $165 worth of product just through the end of this month. The reason why I signed up is because I wanted the discount. So in addition to your starter kit special, you also get a discounted on your regular purchases. So I'm getting like a $25 discount or 25% discount on the products I order, which has helped me a lot since I was really got into this. I really had a lot of fun doing this to the point where I felt like I had to share this with everybody. And that's why I became a demonstrator. I didn't become a demonstrator necessarily planning on teaching classes. I became one so I could get the discount. But the joy I received from teaching these classes or doing the cards, and then I felt like I had to share, which is what brought me to the teaching of the class. Um, that's the one little piece of news I wanted to bring up. Now, this card is called the Pop and Wiggle. And what it did, I'm show the cards ahead of time because personally I feel like I can do better when I know what direction I'm headed. I'm trying my extra light, but it might be too much. Let's see. Tone it down a little. Nope, still too much. Okay. Well, we tried it. We'll see. So anyway, this is the Pop and Wiggle, and it's designed as a gatefold. And then there's this little catch here to hold the card closed, and then you open it up, and we have some movement inside. And the reason why there's 3 sheets of instructions is because there's a mechanism hiding underneath that we are going to be creating to create. Oh, my candle bent. Creating so that we can have these little fun flying cupcakes or flowers or butterflies, whatever you want to put there. That's what we're headed for. Okay. Now, let me get the card out. And I also have a couple pieces to kind of help along. Now, with the Pop and Wiggle card, I'm going right into this because I wanted to make sure that we didn't go way over time. All right, those are the pieces. That's the envelope it all came in, and the object is to keep everything together. Now, this is chair tape. We'll be using that later with the mechanism. This is our card base, and it folds in to meet in the middle. Okay, and I see this is a little tight here. I'm going to adjust it just a bit. This is a bone folder. It's very helpful in doing your scoring and creasing. Okay, so I'm trying to keep everything in order so that you can follow along with the directions if you need to. Now, I went ahead and scored the card bases for you. And then what we're going to do first is, of course, do the folding. And then these 2 matching Designer Series paper strips I'm going to put on the front panels. Now, when I do, there it is. When I do my gluing, I will take, and I'm trying to make sure I get this up here. I will take and put the glue, about a 1/4 inch from the edge. The reason why I do this, and I'm using glue instead of the tape runner, because it gives me a little wiggle room. And I find that that's something that I happen to need when I get my placements. But by putting the glue, see how well that shows. Okay, a little bit away from the edge. When you put it down, it gives you some adjustment space so that you can say, okay, I needed to bring this over a little bit. Let's line that up. There, the wiggle room is there. All right, we're good. I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. If you have it too close to the edge, when you move it around, some of the glue can slip out, and that kind of leaves a shiny residue and sticky residue, because this particular glue, the Tombow glue, when it dries shiny, but it also remains sticky, which can be a plus when you are doing certain things. The stickiness can come to your benefit. Okay, so there's the two front panels put on. The next, we're going to take this piece of cardstock is embossed with a texture. I love the embossing folders. That's one of the things that really caught my attention right on, because it adds additional texture and it just makes it so much more interesting. Now I'm just adding glue. I'm being more generous with the glue on this because the embossing folder, it's not a flat surface. Things you don't have the same adhesion as you do with a flat surface because there's up and down raised, so you're only getting part of the adhesion. And then I'm just kind of centering, and I'm trying to get this where I can see too. I'm just kind of centering this in the center of that panel. Make sure it's even. Move it a little bit there. Okay, so then we have that. I'm going to let that dry for a moment. And then in this packet, we have some flowers. And you see that little orange strip? That's attached to a window sheet that is clear, and you probably can't even see it. And I put the post-it note, orange post-it note on it so they didn't get lost on you. Anyway, in here we have some of the die cuts from that sheet I was telling you about. And I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use this one. Okay, I'm going to be using that on the front here. And I'm going to attach that with some dimensionals. Let's get, I'm putting the dimensional more towards the bottom, because what I want to do is I want to leave some opening at the top. Oh, by the way, with dimensionals, even the pieces on the side are able to be used. You just snip off the size you want, which is what I'm doing here. Okay, put the dimensionals on there. Okay, now I'm not going to undo that yet. I'm going to put these two back, because I know from past experience that if I don't put it back, I won't be able to find it later. Now, I'm going to do is figure out where I'm going to place this. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to be gluing this to the front of the card, but I want it high enough that I have room to put this little flower to use as a catch. And that looks like it's high enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the flower here. I'm just kind of helps guide me what I'm doing. Okay. Now, the dimensionals are down at the bottom, so this is able to be clicked in and out. And then I'm going to take, I'm only going to put glue on the back of this side, because we can't glue it all over or you'll be gluing your card closed. Again, I'm a little more generous because we're dealing with a embossed card. Okay, let's see how it looks. Different cake, but it looks pretty similar. Okay, and then I got some glue on my fingers. Then I'm going to pop this out, and we're going to work on the inside. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take and put this inside panel in. Okay, let's get this organized here. Okay, and that can be drying while we move on to the mechanism. The mechanism, that mysterious thing that's going to cause the magic in the card. This is the mechanism piece I gave you. If I can bring it up closer. If you look at closely, boy, are we blurry. Oh, it's coming into focus now. You can see that I've scored it for you. And the first four are 3/4 of an inch. The last one's only a 1/2 inch. That's helpful to you because that tells you where the end is, so you know which way is up and which way is down. Now, I also did, and I don't know if I can show well enough for you, there's a little pencil mark here and a little pencil mark up here. And what I did this for as an indicator for you, because while I did these score lines, you're going to be doing score lines yourself, but they're going to be diagonal from this corner, which is the top left-hand side of the third space, down to the bottom right-hand side of the fourth space. And that's why I gave you a little drawing in the instructions to kind of show you, because I wasn't sure how clearly you could see on the thing, but that's what we're going to do. So in order to do that, I'm going to get my paper trimmer. Okay. And I might need extra light at this point. We'll see how that goes. But I'm going to take, and these two marks, I'm going to line them up, cutting the cutting blade away. I'm going to line them up, the top mark on this corner and the bottom mark there. Okay, going to line them up like that, and then I'm going to score. All right, that's one. I don't know how well you can see that. You can see that score? Okay, now we're going to do the same thing, only from the opposite two corners. And I didn't mark those for you because I didn't want to confuse the issue. But you're looking at the end of the score and lining that up on your trimmer. Whoops, I moved it. That's the tricky part. Getting it lined up. Doop, doop, doop. There we go. I'm going to try and hold it this way. There we go. And then the gray scoring blade. We don't want to cut. Now you have those two scores. Okay. And then now we're going to start folding. And move this out of the way for a moment. Okay. Now the way we do this, they call, okay, the first score is going to be a mountain fold. That means it goes up. The second score is also going to be a mountain fold. That means it also goes up, up and up. Now this third score is going valley fold. That means it goes down. And the last score is a mountain score again. It goes up. That's the short piece. Now suddenly you can see the short piece real easy. All right, now when we're going to fold on these two score lines, they are both going to be mountain folds. Okay, another mountain fold crossways. And it's for this mechanism that your instructions were so lengthy. Okay, so what happens is we've got like almost a pyramid type shape, and the valley fold middle score is tucking in. This allows this to fold, okay? And this is what's going to create the mechanism. The short piece is here, and the two wider pieces are here, and this is considered the top or the front. And what we're going to do now is we are going to put tear tape, 2 strips on each of these two. And then for the back, again, I'm trying to get this close enough. You're going to put 1 strip of tear tape, but you want it really close to that score edge. You want it close there. So that's what we're going to do now. And I should have given you plenty of tear tape to do this. I'm going to try the light again. Help me out a little, maybe. No, it's giving me shadows. One of these days I'll get the lights figured out. I'll use this one. Oh. Okay, bringing it closer. I want right along that edge. Come on. And then you tear off the excess. That's why it's called tear tape. Okay. And then you can burnish it a little to give it good adhesion. We're going to do the same on these sides over here. Only we're going to do 2 strips. Yeah, you can see. Okay. 2 strips. So 1 there. Now, if it's more comfortable for you, you can cut these. Okay, let's do another piece here. Save my extra. They come in handy. Okay. So there we have the tear tape, 2 on this panel, 2 on this panel, and 1 on this. Oh, let it focus. Let it focus. There it goes. There it goes. Anyway, 1 right there. We wanted it right next to this edge. And then you kind of burnish it. Again, the bone folder comes in handy for things like that. All right. Now, remember what I said about the folding. This will be facing up towards the front, and this shorter piece will be in the back. Now, I'm going to show you this just so you can see. The way this is going to be fitting in is you'll be putting it right next to this fold, the score line, and you're going to be adhering the short end in the back. But to know where you want to put it, you're going to want to see where you want your placement to be. I want it pretty much centered is where I want it. But we're going to do that in a minute. First, we're going to finish this up. Now, what I have, and I did give you instructions to go ahead and stamp your sediments ahead of time. I did that with mine. I'm finding that it's a little easier to have it done. Now, in this case, I used the Happy Birthday in this new set. For my sample, I had used a different sentiment. It's from a retired set. I just happened to like that one, but I thought I'd try the new set out since I had it. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm going to get this panel, the inside panel prepared. I'm going to put the glue on. Okay. Now, if you happen to get a cupcake like I did, it's going to be a little bit shorter than the panel. But what I'm doing is I'm putting it up towards the top and trying to balance the edges, the top and sides. And then I'm going to add this piece at the bottom, which is what I'm going to do now. Now, I found in my experience that putting together cards is easy. What takes me the longest is the decisions, like, okay, what sentiment do I want to use? Or, what colors, or, it's just the decisions that get to me. So, having it already decided and stamped saves a lot of time. Of course, once you know where you're going, it's a lot faster too. So here we are back at this, and I'm just kind of laying this out about where I think I want it. And I want it, pretty much centered because I want room on both sides for my little flying objects. Now here's the mechanism again. This is a short side. This is the front side. We're going to be turning this down, and it's going to be going right next to. So this is the approximate area what I want it to be. But I want it up against the edge there, okay? But first I'm going to open this up for a minute, and then remove the protective coloring. Now, in my case, I find my nails usually work pretty good, but my nails are kind of short this time. Okay, that lets me take it off fairly easy. And then I'm going to fold this back up behind. And I want to make sure it's right next to the edge there. And then I'm going to push it down. Okay. Now, that goes tucked in. Stay tucked in. Okay. Now, we want to remove from the first panel here, not the second one, just the first one. We want to remove the tear tape protective covering again. A lot of times if people have trouble with it, they can use their take a pick tool and kind of get to it. But in this case, my nails are working fine. And then I'm bringing this flap over and closing it down. Okay, here's where the magic begins. You ready? Look, it pulls up, and it's made a platform up top here. And that's where we're going to be putting our inside panel. So once that's done, we are ready to remove the rest of the tear tape. Now this is going to be a little trickier because I do have it up here. And I can use this if I get the right. Okay, come on. There we go. There's one. If I can get a hold of it before it flops down again. And there's the other. Come on. Okay. I talk to my cards a lot. So if you do that, don't worry. It's a normal thing. Okay. And then I'm going to put this centered. and close it. And there we are. We have our inside panel popping up. Now, for 3 pages of instruction, that really went pretty fast. But we still have more to do. We have these little want to disappear on your window sheet strips. And we have our 2 little decorations. Now, what I want to do, I'm getting my glue dots out here. Is we are going to, and I'm trying to get it so you can see. Inside we have this triangular piece. We are going to attach this to this bottom triangular piece here with a glue dot. And we're going to attach the flower with another glue dot. So I'm going to go ahead and put the glue dots on. There we go. I want to do this where I don't lose my strip. Let's see how I want this. Okay. And then we can attach it there. And then let's check and see. It's going to go in here. It looks like it'll be about the right length. We'll try it. If you need to adjust it, because we're working with glue dots, we can take them off and move them around as long as we haven't pressed them firmly and let it set. Okay. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to put one on there, kind of level. Okay. Now, I'm doing just one to begin with. Okay, I want to make sure that it stays hidden. See how that's doing? And then it doesn't go beyond the base of the card. That one's close, but we're okay. And then here's the other one. See how this works. I tried to cut these close to what you would need, so you didn't have to really struggle with it. Okay. And then just getting in there to see what I'm doing. Okay, now that works, but let's say, oh, that's too high. So that's not going to work. Let's move you down a little further. Almost too high again. Okay. Just a smidge lower. Oh, that's being a turkey. Okay, let's bring this a little shorter. A little bit shorter. Okay. And then bring you in there. Putting you closer there. Nope, wrong thing. Come on. Got to get to that bottom triangle. Okay, there we go. We got it. All right, so here's your card. You open it up. Happy birthday, and there's flowers flying around. There we go. The card has a catch. You have your birthday cake. Open it up, and there's your flowers floating around. Okay. Believe it or not, your first card is done. Okay. I'm sorry, I forgot to greet everyone. Thank you for showing up. I hope you find this entertaining as I struggle, just like everyone else does, on some of these more engineering type projects. But this is it's got lots of possibilities. Now, we did this as a gatefold. That's where you have two openings, okay? But the same technique would work with a regular card. You just would have it opening this way. You put it in the same as we did that one, close it down, and then it would pop up and you'd have actually a little more space to work with. That's what I wanted to point out. So you don't limit yourself in what you do. You can also change the size of the mechanism, but you're going to have to do some math if you do that. I'm just going to put things away here so that when I need them again, I can find them. All right. And there is our first card. Yay! Okay, let's go on to the next. The next one is a fun but easy card, and I have another sample here too. This is what we're going to be creating. It opens this way and this way. And then I have taken the Wildflower Birthday Designer Series paper, and I've used it. The sentiments came, and I had a note somewhere. The sentiment, yes. I used Let's Eat Cake because we were talking birthday cake. From the Heartfelt Hexagon. I don't know if you got that one, but I found it appropriate. And then this one is from Kidding Around. It's your birthday. I just really like the way it's put with the exclamation point, like a kid being excited. Oh, it's your birthday. And it also fit on this die cut that I did, which came from, I think it was Thoughtful Memories. Set. It's the one that had the hummingbird. Oh, they have absolutely gorgeous dies. Well, I'm not sure where I put them. Okay. Anyway, let's get on to the card making because we don't want to waste our time. All right. So what we have here is we have the flap, which the cake will go on. And then we have the card base, which the front is shorter. And what that does is it allows us to have this little edging here and then contrasting background here. I'm going to go ahead and put those on first. Oh, look, see? This pretty paper is actually the reverse side of the cake size. Now, one of the problems with this beautiful designer series paper is sometimes both sides are so pretty you hate to hide one side or the other. I found that the backside of this is perfectly complementary to the front side, which is why I wanted to use it. Now I'm taking this and I'm adjusting it so we have even borders around. And then I'm going to take this. Look at this. This is pretty paper, but this is cute too. We're going to take it and add some glue. I don't know. I always had problems. Fabric stores and pretty paper. If you knew me from the past, you know how obsessed I became about Christmas wrapping paper. I have such a collection. And then last year, all my grandkids moved away. And now I've got all this paper, and it's not cost effective to. Not ready for this yet, or getting there. Okay. It's not really cost effective to buy the presents, wrap them, and then ship them. It's more timely, and more cost effective to do ahead and just have them shipped directly. It goes against my nature doing that, but I have to bow to what makes more sense. Oops, I just tilted you. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to stamp the card. Okay, now for this one, I'm using the Blueberry Bushel ink because it coordinates with the ink on the paper. And now usually I cheat. And I'll stamp this on a plain piece of paper and then die cut it. So cross your fingers so that I can stamp it straight. And I might get my head in. I'm going to move over a little bit. Might get my head in the way. Okay. Oh, that came out pretty good. All right. So here we have It's Your Birthday. Now on my sample card, I embellished the edge with I have a gold glitter pen and I use that. But you know, there is a different way. And this is the different way. I'm taking a sponge dauber and I'm holding this up. I'm just going along the edge like that. Now what this does, it creates a little extra dimension. And because the background's really light, it allows it to stand out instead of getting lost against the white. And that Blueberry Bushel is really inked up, so there we go. And you'll see it in a minute. Let's see, that leaves a little more there. A little more. Now the sponge daubers, when I first signed up, they mentioned them to me and I thought, why would they want those? They come in handy. And this is one of those cases. All right, now I've got that ready. I'm going to let that dry a little bit. I'm going to put this on. Well, I think before I put it on, I'm going to stamp the inside too. And I want, where to go? Here it is. Let's eat cake. I set it down. I pick it up. I bring in the ink. Now, I want to point out this is important. When we're attaching this is going to go this way so that the flap will be opening from the left-hand side. Okay, it opens this way and then it opens this way. And that's just something you need to consider, which is why I've got it. I'm doing this now because if I run into a problem, I can turn it around. Okay, I gotta see where I am. There and there. Okay. Let's eat cake. Okay. And then now I can add this on. Add a little glue. I hope I'm not going too fast. I'm just trying to be more conscious of the time that we take because I've been told they shouldn't be super long. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be gluing this inside this panel. I'm going to add the glue, but again, I'm leaving some space. The way I want to do it is I want to have it kind of centered in here. Okay. That's, again, why I prefer the liquid glue. And then I can open this up. And there we are there. Okay. Now, we can decorate. The way I did it was I had a little cupcake down here. And I had a little floral design up here. Just add a very light bit of glue. Make sure that's level. Okay. And a little bit here. Now these die cuts, I don't know that I would have, gone to the trouble of doing extra stamping, but they're so handy and they are so easy to use that I don't mind slipping them in there. Now, here's the tricky part. We want this to be hidden. Now you have different forms. Some of you have little squares. These are all basically coming from the designer series paper. And the way, it's not going to work very well. And if I do it carefully, you can do it like this and kind of see the direction and add the glue. I'm going to scoot it down just a bit. Okay, add the glue. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is very carefully turn this around, close it. That way I know it's hidden. And then you have your surprise when you open it up. Bingo. Not fun? And then for this one, remember, we made it stand out. So I'm going to pop it up too. With dimensionals, if I can find them. Oh, I lost my dimensionals, didn't I? I didn't put them back where I was supposed to put them. I found them. Okay. 1, 2. Okay. And then I use this tool a lot because sometimes my fingers get in the way of my view. And it kind of helps me decide, okay, that's where I want it. So I set it and I decide, is it straight or not? If I like it. Okay, it's your birthday. There's a piece of cake. Let's eat cake. Hello. Now we are almost done. I protect the little pieces by using the post-it notes, but sometimes it's a challenge to get in there to get what you're hiding or protecting. So I'm just adding a couple of um, embellishments that coordinate with the card. Okay, there we are. And we have embellishments. It's your birthday. And there's that pretty piece of cake. Let's eat it. Okay. Second card done. Woo! Okay. Plan A and Plan B. Okay. Now, moving on to the next one. Oh, I was going to show you this. This is another version of the same card I did using different paper. And it works for all kinds of things, just whatever appeals to you. Um, Also, I'm going to point out this strip here, I did a technique on, and I hope to post a video showing how to do this technique. It's, I use the liquid, metallic liquid enamel and an embossed strip, and I added in this case, silver to it to add it a little effect. Anyway, that's with that. So let's move on. Yeah. Here we come. Okay. Now what I did, these are that kind of thoughtful expressions. Okay. This die that we used for the birthday card we just finished right here, we're also using it on the front of this card that we're going to be doing. I just, I love this die set. And this is an old standby. I don't know that it's still, it might be retired. I kind of hate to think of it is, but it's called the Stylish Shape Dies. It's just a basic standard die set that kind of allows you to fit. And I've used, in fact, I use this die for the squares on our next card here. And sometimes I use these banners just depending on what fits. Now the paper you have in your kit is from the Regsl Winter paper, which actually goes with this set, which I believe is now retired. It's just recently retired. But what I did here, this is the card we're making, and it's a square explosion card. It is just kind of a fun card because you're not really expecting it. I mean, it's a sweet little card. Open it up and, oh, God, big. Anyway, what I've got, let me get my kit out. I did different papers depending on which piece of the paper you got. I wanted to point this out. This is another version of the explosion card. Okay. And then This is one for a birthday using the Wildflower birthday suite again. And it opens up like this. It's a party inside. Anyway, we're doing the square card, but the only difference is that this is cut shorter. With this one, you have more room if you want to do more writing. But I liked the size of this. The one thing I didn't realize until yesterday is that when I did this for you, cutting this out, I put it in the large envelope so this paper would fit, because I wanted you to experience the scoring that's involved, because that'll help you remember how to do it. And I forgot to include a regular size envelope, which is what this would fit in. So I apologize. I can get them to you if you still need it. But this is where we are. Now, the color I ended up with is this red. Basically, I use cherry cobbler as the base. This is going to be my card base. And this is the front. And then, there's so many things in here I want to show you. I don't want to get too far off base, but okay. For these squares, as I told you, I use the stylish shape dies. And in some cases, if you remember, I said to stamp them diagonally. In some cases, people might have trouble with that. And so what I did, and if you have a positioner, let's see, where'd it go? Oh, here it is. I buried it. If you have a positional tool, what you can do is you can cut the piece out and use your positioner to align your stamp. And then you can take your pieces that cut out and put it in there, and then you can stamp it with pretty good accuracy. I'm not sure that you all have the positioner. There are many types out there. I really, really love the Stampin' Up version, but they're not selling it currently. I hope they bring it back. Legal issues. But anyway, that is an option you can have. I'm going to move some of this extra stuff away because we're done with it. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to get my paper trimmer back here. And let's follow along the instructions so that I don't get you confused. Yep, we did start with the scoring of this designer series paper. Okay, this is the magic of the explosion card. Move this cutting blade away so you don't make a mistake. This is a 6 by 6 inch square of designer series paper. Now they have a selection in the catalog where you can order, like this came from the Regsl collection, where you can order these, and with each catalog these become available but with different patterns. I just used what I had on hand. If you really like working with these paper, both sides are good. I preferred this side for what we're doing, but they are available, and I just don't see many people talking about them, but a lot of times they, when you're trying to match designer paper, it comes in real handy because you can see how well this goes. Now, what I'm doing is this is the 6x6. I am lining it up at the 3-inch mark and I'm going to score. Now, when you're scoring paper, I go back and forth a few times, but I don't press real hard because I don't want to tear the paper. With cardstock, you can be firmer, but I tend to be more cautious. I turned it over. So what I've got is I've got it scored going this way and this way. Now, the next score is going to be diagonally on one way. And that's, again, lining the tip up with the track in your paper trimmer. Yeah, do I have that right? Okay. Okay. So what's going to happen is you're going to fold. I'll move this out of the way. Going to fold this. And fold it. Okay. Now, actually, those should be going this way and this way. That breaks the paper fiber, so it's easier to bend. And then this score along the diagonal is going to be a mountain fold. And what you can do, I scored it diagonally because I find it's easier for me to do it that way. But it gives you a good base. Okay. Now, what's going to happen is we've created this. This allows it to fold down. Into a little square. And then we'll be opening it up like that. Now, let's see. All right, so then we're getting back to the, that's prepared. It's kind of a mechanism again. And then we're going to put our pretty paper on the front. I'm sorry, this Regal paper is just like, oh, so pretty to me. Oh, come on. Another paper that has gorgeous both sides. And then you just add the papers with a centered border. Okay. And then you can add, oh, okay, here's something else I want to point out. Remember I talked about the positioning tool, and I don't know how well you can see this. I decided to stamp this, and it wasn't dark enough. I wanted it darker. And that's where the positioning tool comes in handy. What I did was I ended up restamping it, but I had the piece of paper in place and I stamped it several times to get the darkness that I wanted, because I just felt that up against wherever it went, I lose my pieces. I lost my gold piece. I have extras of everything else. Oh, I'll have to cut another one. this of this. Okay. Ah, there it is. All right. I just felt like the lighter one just got washed out against this golden background. So what I'm doing is I'm going to glue the stamped die cut to the center of the gold die cut. And that's going to go on the front, wherever you want to put it. But I just wanted to point that out about the positioning tool and one of the ways it comes in handy. I gotta tilt this up so I can see and get it centered. I'm gonna let that dry for a moment. And then, as I mentioned before, about you taking the squares, which were cut with the stylish shape dies again, and hopefully you got them stamped. What I chose to do, let's go ahead and stamp mine. I'm going to go ahead and put them in. I think I want to put it in this way. No, I like it that way. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put those in while I'm waiting for that to dry. Now, I generally like to do the placement of these before this gets put in the card, but since you're stamping them outside of the card, it's not impossible to add them after the fact. It still works. Okay. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and let this get put on. Let's see. Make sure I've got the right side up so I put them in the right place. Doesn't help if you got sticky fingers. Okay. I'm going to use one of Evelyn's tricks. I got a little bit of glue off to the side. See, in some way, we're all teachers. All right. Now, we're ready for this. We're going to fold this closed. And in this case, if you want to use a tape runner, because we have to be so specific about it, you can do it. I'm going to start with the back. Now, here's the front of the card. And this, see, make sure you got it going the right way. Okay, this is the way that this would go. Okay, what we want to do is we want to position this so that the top is right there at the crack, and the two sides, you want it balanced right where the fold is, and the two sides just come to the edge, don't really hang over, and close those down. Now I've got it in position, I'm turning it upside down. What I'm doing is I'm adding, yeah, it's there. I'm adding tape runner. Okay, now keeping it in the same position, I'm closing it down. Then I'm turning it over. And I'll repeat the same process with the front. And close it down. Okay, here we go. And your card is done. Can you believe that? Okay. All set. Now, I would love to see the end result of these cards that you've done. If you have a way of posting it, it would be so cool. I just think this is a phenomenal card. I just love this card. I've had a lot of fun with it, and I want to see the results of you. So, let's move on to the last card. And put this back. The last card is a little different. A little bit different here. This is the graduation card. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a trick I learned when I was went and to a demonstration about making rope. And it surprised me what they were able to do. Now, this is the finish card. It opens like this. Now, the set that I had that I used for the graduation theme is a set I've had for years. I know Stampin' Up! Has a new one. It's online exclusive. I don't have that yet. I just used what I had. So I'm hoping you guys were able to find something appropriate to use. And technically, like the first card or the card just before this could be added a little later. But I just wanted to point that out to you. Now, in your kit, what I did, ooh, I'm going from memory here. Okay. All right. What I did was I went ahead and I did the folding for you. I did all the scoring. That'll save you some time right there. But what we're going to do, let's do a little. Yeah. Sometimes they need a little extra help. Okay. Sometimes when they fight you like that, you can go and fold them the opposite direction and press down on them. And that breaks the fibers a little bit more so they're more relaxed. So they don't fight quite so hard. All right. Now, what I did was I included a card that's 2 inches wide. And we're going to take and we are going to wrap this around the card. Now, I started with a piece down at the bottom and I wrapped 30 times, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. And then I brought the last piece down to the bottom as well. And that's where I cut it. Oh, might help if I got my ribbon scissors out. They're a little sharper. Okay. Now, you should have extra thread. This is crochet thread I used. And we're going to slide a piece underneath. I can do it this way maybe. Okay. Okay. Amazing how much better the ribbon scissors work than the other scissors. The other is fine paper, but paper dulls scissors so quickly, which was why I have a second pair. I'm going to tie the top of this. And we want to leave extra because we're going to need that. And then I take the ribbon scissors and I can cut the edge. Okay, now I'm just kind of smoothing things out a little bit here. Now we need to take this extra ribbon or extra thread. And here is the beginning of the trick. You're going to take it and make a loop. And you're going to put it so that the loop extends down below where you're going to be wrapping. And you're going to be wrapping around. I don't remember exactly how many times I wrapped around. Okay. I think I did about 8 times. Now, see that, if you can see that little loop, I'm taking the end of the thread I was wrapping around, I'm putting it through that loop. Okay? And then this is the other end that I started with, and I'm going to pull that, and it's going to grab that thread. Oh, look, it's almost the right size. Cool. Okay. Grab that thread, and it's bringing it under the wrapping. And you can't get it more secure than that. Okay, so it is under the wrapping, and then you can take and snip off the excess there. Beep. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to trim the edges of this a little bit so it's nice and even. Okay. And there you have your tassel. Looks like it needs a little more trimming. Okay. There's your tassel. Now, next trick. I'm trying to make this easy for you guys. Okay. What I have here is a old mouse pad, but it's foamy, and I'm going to use it. And okay, In in your kit, you're going to find this little odd square piece of cardstock. What its purpose is to allow you to align it on the top of your graduation cap card. Okay? And that shows you, did I do it? Okay. The problem is I use the tool and then I don't put it back where it's supposed to be. Oh, there it is, right in front of me. It was where it belonged. Okay. Okay, you're using this. This is a 2-inch square. The card base is a 4-inch square. And I'm using this to determine right where the center is. Okay? Now, knowing where that center is, I'm putting the foam behind it. And this is where I need the help with the light. Okay, line up. Okay. There. With that foam mat, it's really easy. Just poke a hole in the center. Now, in your kit, I have a brad. And we are going to take the brad and we are going to poke it through that hole. Okay, and then we're going to take it and open it up on the other side. Now, I'm not doing this real tight yet. I'm leaving it loose because what we are going to do next is we are going to take and determine, what did you do? Oh, you escaped, you little stinker. Ha. All right. We are going to take and determine how long we want the string to be for our tassel. And I think it's a little easier just to take and do a little knot. You can see that. Okay. And because you haven't done it tight, it's going to be a little easier to do. Okay. And then you're going to just cut off the excess. Ah, again, I need the sharp scissors. Okay. Now, this is done. All right. This is done. I think we're done with this. Okay. In your kit somewhere, and I may have lost it because of all the other shuffling around. There it is. In your kit, you have a little blue circle. What I did was actually, I had a set, alphabet set, and this is the middle of the O. And I'm going to put a glue dot on the top there. Or it might be easier just to put it on this. I put the glue dot there, pull it off, and put it right on top. Now you have your little cap with a button on it. All right. Then I can go back in here and I can add a little more pressure and smooth that out a little more. Okay. That part's done. Now we can move on to the next. Now, here's where we're going to get our paper trimmer again. And we are going to cut these pieces again diagonally, just like we did when we were scoring, only this time we're going to be cutting. Here's one. Line those points up with the track. And sometimes people have trouble when they are doing corner like that to start it. So if it's more helpful, you can set the cutter in the middle and then you won't worry about wrinkling the edge or the corner. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to add these. And if I remember correctly, yeah, I put these on the bottom and these on the top. And basically, you're just going to kind of center them when you glue them in. That's all I'm doing. Now, what happens with this, I use the blue and gold theme, but, different high school graduating classes have different colors, themes that they vote on. I remember voting on mine when I was graduating. And if you wanted to, you could find out what their school's colors are and use that as a guide. Here, I'm just kind of centering that as I go. So it becomes a very personalized card instead of just one that you just bought off a rack in the store. Here we go. And then we're ready for the next one. There we go. The last one, really, it comes together pretty quickly. The trick is to know how to score and fold the card base. Okay. And there we are. I'm going to let that dry for a second. Now, put things away. I need to find my pieces again. There they are. Again, I'm going to express now for this graduation cap, because it's a solid color, this is another place where using the positioning tool is very beneficial, because I could not have gotten that a solid color if I'd only stamped it once. I had to go I think 3 times for this one. And then what's happening here, this is my top square where I added the decoration. And that is also going to be the cover for the Brad. Now you can personalize these however you wish. Knowing the person, something that's particularly them, makes the card that much more special. And there you have your graduation cap. I'm glad you're able to join us today. Oh, I can. I've been working hard. That was the last card that we're teaching. I'm giving you a sneak preview. I think I grabbed more than I needed to grab of the next coming class. This is it's a double Z fold, but it's also a slider card. I'm still working on the design a little bit, but it just seemed like a nice, fun, different card. And I love this paper, so I was trying to work out with something like that, but I haven't come to a final conclusion on it, but that would be one card. Now this one, I ran across, and I thought it was so pretty. It's a fan card, but it's larger. So in this case, this card is heavy enough. It requires extra postage. I made one up for my girlfriend and sent it to her for her birthday. She loved it. And this is using the Wildflower birthday set, again, papers. And I just think it turned out wonderfully. Again, I'm using the little die cuts they have in it. So easy. Anyway, this is a challenge, a mental challenge of some sort. But once you get it, it's easy. It's just, you got to twist your mind around the mechanics of it a little bit. So that's the second card. Now, I know I taught, I accumulate a lot of scraps. And recently I went through my scrap box and I sorted the strips and I sorted them out. And then I thought, I should make cards with these. So I got busy and started making cards with them. And while I showed you how to do this one, I wanted to do it a little different. And the reason why I don't have that on there yet is the one to show you. This one just had the stripes going across. This one has some stripes going across and then it has stripes coming in. And then you put your sentiment in there however you want. You know, just I probably pop this one up. But that's really easy to do. It's using your scraps so you don't feel like you're wasting. Here's another one. Again, I did the scraps, but they're not all the same size. Some are skinny, some are thick. Basically, use what you have. That's another one. Using the Regsl paper, I love so much. This one is different. I use scraps again, but I kind of went with blocks. You know, I had some blocks here and there, and then I kind of added strips into that. Actually, I started, I think, with 3 blocks, and 1, 2, 3, and then I just kind of added to it with the scraps I had. I'm just trying to show you ideas of what happens. Now, and here's where I want to ask you. when I thought about doing this card, I thought about um, it would be in June, and I'm thinking, well, 4th of July is right around the corner. Would you guys like to do? I've got the material I can send to do this card. It's not the very um, placement, but if you think you'd like to do this card, let me know. I did check, and I do have the material. We can put it together. I just thought it came out real cheery 4th of July-ish, but that's up to you. Yeah, I didn't do the inside. Anyway, that's give me some feedback on that one. And then this, and I'm also still wrangling with this. This is using the Regal winter paper. This is using one piece with portion cut and the back flipped. And then I added, in this case, a strip of silver. In this case, I did it on a white card, which can show around the edges. And I took the same piece of paper and I cut it into 5 strips and added it to the front of the card. That's another possibility. And then again, the Regal paper, taking the paper, in this case, I took a corner or half diagonally, and I added the strip of metallic paper. And then in this case, I I fussy cut out of the paper itself a design to embellish with. And then on this one, again, another diagonal. I just I stamped the flowers and die cut them out and added some embellishment that way. I'm kind of wrestling on this one. If you guys think you'd like this and would like to try it, um, that's a thought. I can do it. I can do it like this one covers the whole card front. This one is a little bit smaller, and you add, have your card base showing from behind. Um, let me know if you're interested in that. I'm still kind of wrestling around with it because it's a great way of using your paper and getting a lot out of one piece of paper. Anyway, feedback on that I appreciate. I'm glad you were able to join today, and I hope that you love how your cards turned out. And I, as always, would love to see. And if you could, in the chat, let me know which of the cards we did today is your favorite. I like each one for different reasons, but it's fun for me to find out what you think because I'm only one person. I like to hear what you have to say. So if you're able to do the chat, that would be great. If you have questions, let me know, and I'll talk with you later. Anyway, have a great weekend, and I hope this started your weekend on rather a cloudy, foggy day with a bright spot of cheer. Thank you for joining, and I'll talk with you later. Let's see there.